Reignite your intuition. The show to grow your intuitive self. This is episode number 21, where I talk about intuition supports to let labeling go. My name is Angela, and I'm your host of the show, and a highly intuitive person by birth, who never lost her connection. I am the expert in supporting you regaining your intuition and living a fulfilled and much easier life with it. Trusting fully your intuition takes time and is a very individual process. I share with you my knowledge and strategies I have developed to support yourself on a daily basis in any situation. By signing up to my freebie, you can support yourself to connect with your intuition. Go to angelahack.com/EN21. I guess all of us are pretty good in labeling. Some of us grew up with a surrounding that was always like, hey, look what that one got, or look what she got, or what he got, or what they got, or what... And just looking on the outside what other people got. And even when they received things or had like a new car that you didn't want, that you were not interested, your surrounding was like, oh, look, they have a new car. Being jealous instead of being happy for the others. We are all labeling. It's normal. I have a piercing in my nose. When I was a teenager, there was a ring, so everybody could see it. I'm an independent young teenager, da-da-da-da-da. I also had all kind of colors in my hair. Green, blue, pink, whatever. Honestly, I don't even remember all of them. But it was my way of saying everyone, yeah, I'm an individual. And the top of everything was my own made clothes. They were professionally made, come on. But still, it was very, very colorful and people stared at me. And I remember the situation when I went grocery shopping with my mom. And it was really, my hair was colored. My top was something with yellowish, like mustardish yellowish, with lots of holes, handmade. And then my trousers were just so colorful, and I just looked like a little hippie freak. And there was this person, the guy was just staring at me, which is okay. Come on, when you walk around like that, you might, you think you get that, especially in Switzerland. And my mom got so angry and went to him and was like, why are you staring at my daughter? She has the biggest heart that I know, blah, 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 blah. But he did not do it against me. He just did it because I was provoking it. And he was labeling me not because he wanted to, but people with colored hair and weird clothes, ooh. What do they do in their life? What are they good for? Are they social people or completely the other way around? And we will never stop labeling. But what I've learned, becoming a more and more conscious person, and especially more self-loving, and very much living on my intuition, I see a tattoo. I see a piercing. I see a short skirt. I see someone who is wearing too tiny clothes when they're like me a little bit more than what they call perfectly sized. But guess what? I see it. My brain goes like bam. Starts to label and I'm like, so what? I immediately can jump in my heart. It takes me a few seconds. I guess it takes 2 or 3 seconds to make the first impression, and it takes me another 1 or 2 seconds max to follow my heart. I don't care anymore what people look like. Of course, there are things that I realize a bit more than less. That's my personal side. Personally, summer is a hard time for my nose, for example. But that doesn't mean that's a good or a bad person. It is as it is. And that's exactly the point. It is as it is. I stopped looking on the outside. I am not looking What do they have that I don't have? As an example, a friend of mine, she loves one kind of car. And I think that car is so ugly. I have no clue what that designer thought. She's a hardworking lady. She opened her own business. For many, many years, she was not driving big cars, nor that she was spending loads of money. She was just working hard and doing all the best she could. And thanks goodness, people started to realize it, and she started to receive more and more clients, and her company grew. And all of a sudden, she was like, I got to tell you something. I have a new car. And I'm like, woohoo, what kind of car do you have? Then she's like, well, I bought it. I'm like, that's awesome. And she looked at me and said, that's the reason why I told you this. You are the only person who's happy for me. The others are jealous or asking if it's not too expensive, etc. And you're like, yay, that's awesome. And I know you don't like that car. And you would never buy it. And yes, it has to do with labeling too. In her business, in her age, driving such a car, people are like, oh, her husband paid for it. One more of these housewives. No, she paid for it by herself. And you can feel the difference. You can't see the difference, but you can feel it when you have, let's take the cliche. Woman, big car, husband paid for it. Big expensive car, let's say it that way. So it's a bit more impressive. We have that very often. In Switzerland, the people think that. But it's not very often true because women do their own businesses and careers. And test it. For example, you have two women, two cars, similar cars, and then one gets out and the other gets out. And then check with your heart. Is this her car? Is this car sponsored by? And besides the fact that you can read it, how she treats her surrounding, how she acts very often, your heart can tell you this. I don't think it's the best training base, to be honest, but I just had no other idea right now because this car story was just so, was just around because she was very close to me few days ago and showed me her car, which I still think is super ugly, but she looked so happy. So labeling is actually only stopping me, myself, and I, or you, from who you want to be. I don't want things that other people want. I love to share. I do love to share. That's something else. But my dream cars, I have several cars, sorry, are totally completely different. My dream vacation, my whatever houses, whatever apartments, whatever, I'm dreaming very big, but I know that what I really want, I can achieve because that's how it always worked in my youth. Everything I really wanted, I achieved. Those things that I just only wanted half-hearted. So instead of labeling others and being like, look, they walk around like this, or look, they walk around like that. Look inside yourself. Who am I? Who do I want to be? I love people who are different. I am a city girl in the meanwhile, growing up in a village, but I love individual people. We have this beautiful boy walking around with his blonde hair, red lipstick in summer besides the river, and I just love it. It's an individual. And I love that colorful kind of people and smile at them. And something important is smile at people by your heart and not by your brain. They feel when you smile at them in the way like, oh yeah, that person's funny, Or if you just smile at them, you're like, yes, I love it. I love that color. I love that person. I love that energy. I love it. Maybe you might think like, well, I grew up in a house where we got taught to label others very much. That's it. I don't think I can change that. I know you can change it. You will not get rid of it and you will not lose it. But you can change it, and I know that. Guess why? No, it's not because I'm a smartass, besides the fact I am a smartass. No kidding. No, it's just a joke. You stop being focused on the outside when you are loving who you are. You still see things and your brain still labels. It's not going to happen that it's changing. But you definitely, absolutely definitely change your way of labeling. How you can train that? Start with little steps. For example, looking at someone, and when your brain goes like, ooh, what's that? Send the person a smile, a decent smile. It doesn't have to be one from ear to ear. Start with a decent smile. Your brain will go like, huh? I just told you that person is weird. The label is weird. And you're smiling? Start with that little step. And then you can go further and you will realize the labeling is becoming less and less and less and less. And I think that's freaking awesome. Why? You stop focusing on the outside, you start focusing on the inside, and with a smile you give you good energy and you are deserving that. That's why. Reduce your labeling to the minimum and your self-love becomes your maximum. Are you ready for reignition? Yes? Then go to angelahack.com EN21 and sign up for the freebie with the link you find there. Thank you for listening to Reignite Your Intuition. If you like my podcast, please come back, tell friends, and feel free to share with others how they can access the podcast.